Yo, welcome back to Project Gaming. This is 10B, and today we're going to be looking at an all-new case from Jonsbo. This is the V12 series. It's a mATX case. But before we start, please subscribe, like, hit the bell notification, and also please follow us on X. That's somewhere in the description, and let's get to building. Alright, so in the box you get the case itself, and then you get a set of instructions, how to install it, all that stuff, all that fun stuff, and then you also get a box which has extra screws, all the stuff that you need to build the case. You got a bunch of zip ties, some HDD screw, some SDD screw, and some PSU screws. Alright, so first quick look at the case. You get a power button right here, you get a USB Type A, Type C, audio. This is ventilated in the front, has two 120mm fans, and then on this side there's no ventilation at all, and then on the back there's ventilation, but on this side there's also no ventilation as well, and then on the bottom there's ventilation for the PSU. So we're going to see how this performs in terms of thermals, and yes, let's get to opening it up. Alright, to open it up you have 4 screws on the back, so you lift off the glass case. So there's no thumb screws in this one, so you're going to need a screwdriver for this. Alright, to get access to this space, this is just pull tab, so you're just pulling it apart like that, done. And then on this side as well. There you go. All right, like I mentioned, these are 120mm fans each. These are PWM fans. Also, just a reminder, take off the sticker on the front. They haven't done that for you. And in terms of extra hardware that you can fit, you can put an HDD here, and then on this side you can put an SSD. And then on the back, you can fit a 92mm fan right here. And then you can also fit an 80mm fan down here. For our build, we're only going to be using the 92 at the back. We're opting not to do this one. So let's see, and we'll see how that works out. Oh, and there's also a dust filter for the PSU on the bottom. So here are all the parts that we're going to be using. So it's all new, everything's new here. So we're going to be using the Jonsbo SL925 for the case fan at the back. And then for the CPU, we're going to be using the CR1400DV2. It's air cooled. So there's not really a good AIO solution for this case, so I recommend using air-cool. And then for RAM, we're using 64 gigabytes, so they're going to be 232 each, and it's DDR5 and it's 6400 megahertz. For the motherboard, we're going to be using the ASUS Tough Gaming B650ME Wi-Fi, and for the graphic card, we're going to be using the brand new 5060 Ti from GALAX. This is the 16 gigabyte version. And for M.2, we're using WD Black, so this is 2 terabytes. And for the CPU, we're using the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. And for the PSU, we're going to be using the MSI AB50GL. And this is an 850 watt power supply. So usually we start off with the motherboard, but in this case, according to their instructions, they recommend putting the PSU in first. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right, so after unboxing it, this is what you get. This is an ATX power supply from MSI. This is 850 watts, and it also comes with 4 screws for the case. And then in this pouch, you get all the cables. So we have 2 8-pin cables right here. We also have 2 8-pins, but these ones split into 6 and 2. We have the ATX power cable. This is the new 600 watt. This is 16-pin. And then we have 2 SATA cables, one Molex, and I don't know what it's called, but this is the one that you connect to the wall. All right, now we're gonna drop the PSU in. They provided screws as well. Want to make sure the orientation is correct. You want the fan facing the bottom. A cool thing feature of this is they also have these pads to prevent vibrations. So we're gonna slide this in through here. Oh, sorry, wrong way. There you go. So before we drop in the motherboard, I want to talk about this really quickly so it's a little bit easier to get access to. To get access to these fans right here, I don't know if you can see it, there's actually 3 tabs right here that you got to click. So these 3 tabs, press this, it comes out like this, and this piece comes out. That's how you get, if you want to switch up these fans, that's how you do it. So right now I'm going to remove these stickers. You can see there's 3 tabs right here, 1, 2, 3. And pop it back in. That's how you do it. There you go. Since we're using a MATX motherboard, you got to put back in one of these brackets or stands. So that's right here. Put this right here. So next step is the cooler. I want to make sure that we address the back plate if there's any changes that we need to do before we drop this onto the motherboard. Drop this into the case. So this is the CR1400 DB2, and I believe we got it in white. Sorry, in black. Next up is the RAM. We're going to test fit the RAM just to make sure we have clearance for the cooler. Hopefully we do, but you're going to find out in real time with me. So looking at the cutouts, right, we have this right here, this right here, this right here, this right here, and this right here, and this right here. If we put the motherboard on, I suspect that most of this will be blocked off. So I think it's better to actually route your power cables first, so you can slot them in here before dropping the motherboard in, and that's what we're gonna do right now. But first, let's unpack the GPU as well. So here's the star of the show, other than obviously the case itself, the 5060. Okay, so I did a lot of stuff off screen. I daisy chained these two fans and I'm gonna route them through this grommet and then have them come out here and then connect to the motherboard. In terms of the front I/O panels, again, I route it through this grommet and then it'll wrap around and then connect right here. And the audio obviously will come up here, and then the power will come, well, it's either one or the other. And then on top, I routed this through here for the motherboard, for the CPU, and then this one is for the motherboard. So all that is pre-done, so it makes my life a little easier. I can just drop it in and then hopefully everything connects. Because I suspect that these spaces aren't wide enough for these plugs. All right, something to take note here is, since I'm not going to be using any HDD or SCD, so I might consider taking this bracket out just to give my cables a little more room to breathe. There's 4 screws here to take this bracket out. It'll give you a lot more space for your cables. So I actually recommend you take all of these pieces out first, just make your life easier in slotting this GPU in, and then we're gonna put the screws back in. Okay, so I actually did some stuff off camera. So I installed Windows, I made sure everything worked perfectly because I don't want to go through that trouble of having everything all done, putting the case on and realizing nothing works. And another thing I did was I took out this piece, which used to sit here, just to give my cables a little bit more room to breathe. There you go. So we're pretty much all done. So the last thing we want to do is install the back fan. So we're going to be using this for the back. This is a 92mm fan from Jonsbo. All right, so we've installed the back fan, and I basically lined it up with the CPU cooler, so it should channel come straight out. Something to keep in mind is, because the cables are here, they do block some of the front case fans, but we'll see how that affects the thermals in this case. But other than that, we're pretty much done here. We're gonna put it back up on. There is a difference, as you can see. This one is rounded, this one is straight cut. So rounded on the bottom, straight cut on the top. Pop it back on. This side, same thing. All right, now.
So there you have it. This is the V12 all done. And it's probably the quickest build I've done. And like I mentioned earlier, and also in other previous videos, the thing that takes the longest is the AIO and the case fan and the daisy chaining them. In this particular case, 2 of the fans are already pre-installed. So you only have to install 1 case fan and then I'm running air cooled, so it's quite simple, and to daisy chain them and plug them all in. Another thing to note is do listen to the instructions of putting the PSU in. That will save you a lot of time. And if you're not running anything, you're not running any hard drives or other SSDs, HDDs, you can remove that metal piece here just to give yourself a little bit more room. And also route the power cables before plotting the motherboard down. That'll make your life a lot easier. Another thing to note is when you're removing this front panel on and off, make sure the two bottom part are seated properly. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to close this properly. So let's talk about the graphic cards. So yes, as you can see in this, you can fit a longer graphic card if you really wanted to, but it's going to be hitting right against the fan. So I personally wouldn't have any graphic card bigger than this. This is probably the right size, like a two fan configuration. And because the cables are on this side of the motherboard, so they're going to be up against the fan. So that's something else to also take a note of. So with any case of this size, one of the biggest concerns is cooling, and it's safe to say with these parts, these components, we wouldn't have any issues. So you're good for that. And that's it for this video. We'll see you guys in the next one, but also please subscribe, like, hit the bell notification, and yeah, I'm out.